If you thought they were going to stop there, Games Workshop is at it again. This is an instance of complete incompetence, which doesn't make any sense in the world of AI. At this juncture, you can literally just go, hi, Grok. I'm writing this storyline for Warhammer 40K. This is what's happening in it. Do you have any continuity issues with this that you can address for me? And then Grok will go back and search the web and find everything and go, here are the potential continuity errors if you've not paid attention to this. And it will give sources for that. If you don't like Grok, use Perplexity. That's actually my go-to for research. And it's pretty simple. But unfortunately, these companies can't even do basic research on their own products. They don't even have to read the books anymore. That's the most ridiculous part. Like I said, AI can do all of that for you. There's no excuse to be lax on continuity in 2025 at all. And yet they keep making these mistakes over and over and over again. It's just people who don't put care into the products. It's people who don't put care into the properties and the lore. There's also the political agenda, but that's not what's happening with this instance. The political agenda we talked about yesterday. Again, there's just too many of these happening over and over again. You need a complete overhaul, a new editorial vision, somebody who actually pays attention. And then this type of thing doesn't happen, period. It's very simple. But let's get into the new rewriting of the lore, the screw-up of Marneus Calgar's Primaris surgery. This is some deep Warhammer stuff, so I hope you enjoy it, my friends. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you like my thoughts on storytelling and writing. I would love for you to check out my Valiant Frontiers. I'm trying to bring sci-fi back actually before the Grimdark. I think that this like 90s and 80s and 2000s change in science fiction just made everything into like, let's copy pasta Tolkien into Grimdark, right? And which was fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Warhammer 40K, and I'm a big Horus Heresy fan for the novels especially. But I think that it got overdone and overblown, and that's all we have these days. So I'm trying to bring it back to like when science fiction was about adventure. It was adventure novels. It was action oriented. It was about like exploring strange new worlds and not exploring strange new genders, right? And so I wrote a trilogy of beautiful novels called Valiant Frontiers, and each one of these has a whole sci-fi concept to it. Which is awesome, and it'll give you that feel again of what science fiction used to be. So check this out. It's in the description below. We have beautiful hardcovers we're making with this. I've never done anything like this before, and I appreciate you guys backing and checking things out. This is the future, and if you want to support some independent science fiction, this is the way to go. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, it's in the description. Appreciate everybody who's backing. So let's get into this right here. Games Workshop has quietly retconned another piece of established Warhammer 40K lore, this time altering the timeline and circumstances surrounding Ultramarines chapter master Marneus Calgar's transformation into a Primaris Space Marine. The change, buried in a recent Warhammer community article, represents the latest example of the company's casual disregard for its own established continuity. The October 20th article read, Marneus Augustus Calgar, chapter master of the Ultramarines, contains a paragraph that directly contradicts years of established lore about when and why Calgar went through the dangerous Rubicon Primaris surgery. According to the new version, upon Guillemon's departure to Terra, Calgar was left to oversee the integration of the new Primaris recruits in the chapter. The arrival of these psychologically superior battle brothers had seen many traditional Space Marines come to fear obsolescence. In response to the disquiet, Marneus Calgar volunteered himself to undergo an experimental surgery required in order to transform a traditional Space Marine into a Primaris Marine. This directly contradicts the established timeline where Primaris Marines were not awakened till after Guillemon reached Terra, and then Archmagos Belisarius Cowl. It's very difficult to get through those names. To release them, much easier to write them, I gotta tell you that, for their 10,000-year stasis on Mars. The original lore clearly established Primaris reinforcements arrived in Ultramar through torchbearer fleets dispatched through the Indomitus Crusade. Jeez. I'll learn to talk pretty one day, guys. I write, I don't talk. I keep telling you this, but I appreciate you guys watching anyway. You can make fun of me in the comments. It's cool. Not immediately after Guillemon's resurrection. Warhammer content creator Marshall Bohemond criticized the change on X, and this is what he wrote This was going a little bit viral yesterday. Continuing the enshittification, that's quite a word, of Warhammer 40K lore. Apparently now, Primaris Marines just popped into existence on Ultramar when Guilliman woke up, rather than being something that he had to get to the Sol system to send back to Ultramar with Cato Sicarius Torchbearer's fleet. And also, I guess Vigilus got retconned out because beefing himself up to fight Abaddon was a whole reason Calgar underwent the Rubicon Primaris, not creating unity between Primaris and Firstborn. Like I said the other day, there is zero coordination between teams anymore, zero care for setting lore or game. It's just independent parties doing whatever they want with no oversight. Why should we care if Games Workshop clearly doesn't anymore? This is something that I've noticed just across all sorts of properties, right? You've got Star Wars, and they just, obviously abandoned a lot of Jedi history just to create the Acolyte, right? And then just change the way the Jedi functioned entirely, and it's just a bastardization of Star Wars. You have Star Trek, where it's like they do all these prequels all the time with Strange New Worlds, with Discovery, and it's like they just add little things in there like, oh, we're fighting the Gorn, but wait, didn't Kirk meet the Gorn for the first time in an episode that takes place 10 years after this? Oh, we'll just retcon it real quick. And these little changes, it's maddening because they want to play on your nostalgia. I mean, that's what all this is. Even Games Workshop at this point is a nostalgia brand, believe it or not. I mean, it never got as big as like Star Trek or Star Wars, but it is a nostalgia brand of things that we used to play in the 90s and early 2000s, right? And so, and some of us were the 80s. I was little in the 80s, but that's it. But that's what these are, is nostalgia brands. And despite the fact that they want to give you nostalgia and sell you nostalgia, they always have to like just put their own spin on things, right? And just put their own take on things, like to make it theirs. And it's really, really weird that we see this all the time. It's like a constant thing. I don't know if there's negligence involved, or I don't know if they do it intentionally just to like be like, we can change this because we can. It's one of the two for sure. But either way, it's like it happens so consistently across these properties. It's very, very weird. Now, this also removes the strategic context of Calgar's surgery. In the original lore, Calgar underwent the Rubicon Primaris on Vigilus during the campaign against Abaddon, the Despoiler's Black Legion forces. The chapter master wanted to enhance his capability for the coming battle, demonstrating the procedure's value in a high-stakes military context. Now, Games Workshop presents the surgery as a purely internal morale exercise, stripping away the dramatic wartime setting that gave the event narrative weight. So this is what the responses were. Fans said Games Workshop getting their own lore wrong again. Another one said retconning a retcon, what a effing mess. And this is just a pattern. It's not by itself. I mean, if there was one issue or whatnot, yeah, I'd be giving them grace. I like I said, in 2025, there's really not too much of an excuse for this. You can look things up, especially when you're referencing past events. It's pretty easy to do. But if you look at this, they've been doing this for a while, since the first 10,000 were created. There have always been female custodians. That one blew up last year. And of course, yesterday we started this talk about how they removed the God Emperor's Space Marine creation quote because they removed men from this. These men who give themselves to me was removed just because it said men in it, right? And that one was obviously intentional for the purpose of degenderifying all the language, right? While this one, like I said, doesn't have like a political implication, it's just more of the same. It's just carelessness. It's just changing things just to change things. And it's just sad to watch that this is happening. Like I said, if you need help, Games Workshop, call me. I can just run things through Chat GPT for you real quick or whatever, just to make sure that you've got things correct before you go to print. It shouldn't be that hard. You need an editor to do that kind of thing. That is what editors are about. That's what editors really need to keep going. And if you get somebody who's really, really good at that, you can make Warhammer 40K great again. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Check out my Valiant Frontiers. This is my sci-fi, which it's got its own lore, internally consistent with my own books, of course. And I checked and I made sure everything was cool because it does actually reference other books that I've written before. And so I'm building a beautiful universe. I hope you'll check it out. It's in the description below. Thanks for being here.